OK. The second attack that we will talk about is one called Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Once again, I never remember these acronyms, but this is another protocol that we'll use, and it also has some attacks on it. So what is this protocol for? This protocol is useful if you're joining a network for the first time. So this is like someone moving into an apartment for the first time. If you've packed up your bags and you've moved into a new apartment, there are some things you need to know. You need to know your own address so that other people can contact you and that you can send mail to other people. You should also probably know where your nearest post office is so that if you have mail to send, you can go send messages to the post office. So once you join the apartment for the first time, there are these kinds of basic facts that you have to learn. What's my address? What's the post office's address? And in the same way, when a computer joins a network for the first time, like I log on and I connect to the internet, I also need to know some facts about the network. For example, I need to know my own IP address so that other people can contact me. So when I first join a network, I don't have an IP address. Someone needs to give me an address so that I can use that address to send and receive messages. I also need to know where the router is so that if I want to talk to far away destinations, I can send packets to the router, and the router will forward the packet for me. You'll also need the IP address of something called the DNS server, which we will talk about later. But for now, you can think of it as some other helpful service that we might want to talk to. And it would be nice to know their IP address. When I first connect, I don't know any of this stuff. Who on the network is the router? I have no idea. What's my address? I don't know. So I need a protocol to figure out all of these things. That's what DHCP is going to give us. So how does it work? It's another 4-step process. I will not read it in text because I have pictures. So this is what it looks like in pictures. Here's Alice. She has joined the network for the first time. She doesn't know her IP address. She doesn't know where the helpful DNS server is. And she doesn't know where the gateway router is. That's another word for the router that we use to forward packets to the rest of the internet. And even worse is that Alice doesn't know who to ask. She's joined this network for the first time, and she doesn't know who anyone in the apartment complex is. Who is Bob? Who is router? I don't know who these people are. We've labeled them, but Alice doesn't necessarily know who these people are and what they're serving. So because Alice, once again, doesn't have any information about who to contact, she's going to do the simplest thing she can think of, which is shout for help and ask everybody. So she doesn't have the configuration. So for her first step is to broadcast a request to everybody and say, does anybody have a configuration that you can give to me? I want an address, and I also want to know where the gateway router is. Can anybody help me and answer these questions? That's the first thing she'll do. She'll broadcast a request and shout it from the rooftops of her new apartment and ask for help. Now, eventually, one of the, hopefully, servers will answer her request and come to the rescue for help. So for example, this DHCP server might reply and say, here is an IP address that I've saved just for you that you can use. And here is a DNS server that you can contact for help if you ever need this magical DNS service. And also, here is the IP address of the router so that if you have packets to faraway destinations, you can send them to Z, and that address has a router that will forward the packets for you. So this step is sometimes called offer. Anybody who has an answer can offer an answer to Alice. Now, technically, multiple people can submit offers. In general, there's usually just one person that makes the offer. But for example, if you have 2 DHCP servers, it is possible that 2 people submit offers. Now, step 3 is for Alice to pick one of the offers. So in the event that multiple people make offers, Alice has a lot of choice, and she needs to pick her favorite offer. So she needs to tell everyone which offer she has selected. Now, even in the case where there's only one offer, you still have to perform this step. But the step looks like this. She's going to broadcast and tell everybody which offer she has accepted. And this is useful in case multiple people submitted offers. So she'll tell everyone, thanks for all of your offers. Maybe there was one, maybe there was multiple, but thank you for all of your offers. I have decided to use the offer that server 1 provided to me. So this server should save me that IP address and remember the gateway that was provided to Alice. And everybody else, thanks for the offers, but I didn't choose them, so you can reject the offer and use that IP address for someone else. So at this point, Alice installs the offer that she was given, which was address X, address Y, and address Z. And usually at the very end, the DHCP server that made the offer that was accepted will send an acknowledgement. It's kind of like a receipt or a confirmation message that confirms you chose me and I accept the offer. So I have reserved this IP address for Alice's use. I will not give it to anyone else. And here's the DNS gateway, and here's the gateway router. So those are the 4 steps. To recap, Alice broadcasts a discover message to everyone. 1 or more DHCP servers reply directly to Alice with an offer. She broadcasts telling everyone which offer she liked and which one she chose. And then at the very end, the server that was chosen replies with an acknowledgement just to confirm that everything worked out. Those are the 4 steps of DHCP.